Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivemy.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And this week on the podcast, we are talking about the new release of the 2025 The Running Man.
We're doing the new Running Man. We did the old Running Man about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And the week before that, we did The Long Walk. Stephen King just loves transportation at different speeds.
Stephen King loves transportation at different speeds, and also it's a big month for Stephen King adaptations. It's also a big month for films that originated with Schwarzenegger. We also did Predator as well the other week.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of good themes this week for us to be like, what are our lead-in movies going to be?
if you're Schwarzenegger or Stephen King, you're having a good month.
They're loving this month's Talk from Superheroes.
We know they listen.
Extravaganza.
We know they listen.
Both of you are checking us out.
I think that when you have the career and finances they have, every month's probably a pretty good month, you know?
Every month's a good month, but like not every month is like, hey, I got something new.
Hey, my favorite podcast, Talk from Superheroes.
Just talking about my shit again.
Exactly.
That's the dream.
If that's the dream, it's the dream. And so we're talking about the new 2015 Glenn Powell-led The Running Man this week on the podcast. This movie came out just about a little over a week ago. And whenever we talk about a new movie or show on the podcast, we give you a spoiler-free review, which we will do right now. Then once you hear the theme music, we will enter the spoiler-filled section. But starting with a spoiler-free review, in case you're on the fence about seeing it, not sure if it's worth your time, or whatever your reasons may be, let's start spoiler-free with the usual simple question. Diana, did you like it?
I didn't like it. No, I didn't enjoy this movie. It's a weird didn't like where I'm like, I think this is the exact movie Edgar Wright wanted to make. Like, it's not like he had, like, producers changing it or he ran out of time or something. I'm like, he wanted to make this exact movie. And I think it's dead boring and doesn't have anything to say. And I think that's a real shame because, yeah, there's nothing here that I was really rooting for. I didn't really like the main character. The action scenes weren't interesting or clever. A bunch of things are seeded in that have no payoff that would have been really cool if they did. The story's kind of a mess. Characters come in and out in weird ways. There's no structure to it. I'm not really like feeling the tension of the countdown that's happening. There's no themes to be found, but it seems like there is, and maybe there is if I really looked, but like not like this is relevant to today. You really nailed it kind of themes, even though it seems to think it does. It's just... yeah, I didn't have a good time watching this movie, and I really thought I was going to. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, I love the original Running Man. I love to watch a man run and be hunted down.
Yeah, no. You're there for Dynamo and the dancers. You're not there to see a man hunted down.
Well, here's the thing. Spoilers, there's almost no dancing, you guys.
There's no opera or dancing.
There's no opera?
There's minimal dancing.
There's almost none.
Quick spoiler, there's minimal dancing.
This is a warning spoiler in case you're like me and you were going in for the dancing.
In case you go to the Running Man for the arts.
Hardly any dancing. Yeah, this Running Man's not for the arts, and that's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
But no, the movie itself it's just boring. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It would be boring if it was only 90 minutes. It's just not a run length issue. It is just, it doesn't come together. And it kept feeling like it was gonna. I was like, now they're going to figure it out. And then I didn't. And then there'd be a next sequence. And I'm like, now they'll figure it out? And they didn't. So they never figure it out. And that's how I feel about the new Running Man. A little sad about that one. I was excited for this. Andrew, how did you feel about The Running Man 2025?
I feel very similar to you. I might be slightly more negative. I think it's bad. I think it's a bad movie. It's really poorly paced. It moves at an absolute crawl with so little happening. For an action movie that is about running, there's pretty minimal running and pretty minimal action.
No running or dancing.
Yeah, no running, no dancing, no action, no big bombastic characters. There's nothing it doesn't have a lot of popcorn fun entertainment to it. And it also doesn't have any depth or anything to say. It's yet another example of, we've talked about this a few times on the podcast, movies that are theme adjacent, where they're like, but there's a bad government. And doesn't that have something to say? And I'm like, but what do you have to say about a bad government? They're like, that it is. Anyway, a handsome man's on television. And that's the whole movie. So I'm like, you don't have anything to say. You're weak politically and theme adjacent. You're weak action-wise in popcorn cinema. Your pace is an absolute crawl. It's a slog to get through. I might disagree with you on the Edgar Wrightness of it all because I am a fan of his films, definitely far more so than yourself. I'm a fan of his movies. And there's no stamp of his on this in any way. So I actually don't think this is the movie he set out to. And there's more endings and false endings than Lord of the Rings, which makes me feel like I think a audience tested this to death. And I actually think 3 of the 5 endings are reshoots to make people feel a little happier. So I think that there's a couple of reshoot endings, and there's one ending that's just a summary with none of the actors around. I think that I don't think Edgar Wright is as powerful as we think he is. I don't think he's a carte blanche director that studios are like, here you go, make the thing that you want to make. I think that this is a movie where some executives really got their hands in the dough, because I feel no sense of the artistry that Edgar Wright brings to any movie. And I think, like, for better or worse, so I love the artistry of Edgar Wright. It doesn't tickle you the same way as me, but I don't feel any of that imprint here.
I completely agree. No, Edgar Wright doesn't do anything for me, but I recognize the artistry, as you said. I always respect his movies. Every movie I've not liked of his, I've just thought was actually also kind of boring, but in a much more interesting way than this, in a way that I can see why other people enjoy them. This one, I'm like, yeah, I can't believe Edgar Wright directed this, but I feel like I said that this must have been his thing because, like, he's been working on it so long. He pitched it so early. It seemed like he was hired because he had a pure vision based on the book version. And maybe, I don't know exactly what happens in the book version. He might have become too much of a slave to the book version and not realized it wasn't translating to movie-wise. But yeah, none of his stamps are on this.
Yeah.
No.
And not having read the book also, I feel like I should have to speak on this rendition, because I can't say this with certainty, not having read the book, but it does have all of the film problem stamps of a movie that was slavish to the book.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
It has book pacing, where it's like books can have characters that just come and go and disappear. And in movies, it's like, why the fuck were there 3 scenes with this one person that goes nowhere and does nothing? But that can be a fun thought experiment for a chapter of a novel, and it does not work for 15 minutes of a film.
Yeah, and in a book, it can be 30 days, and that's kind of interesting. And in a movie, you're like, 30 days? I mean, yeah. The Running Man?
And even the movie is like, we don't know what to do with
for
a lot of these
days.
Yeah. We do not know how to visually make some of this stuff interesting. So I just... It's bad.
It's bad.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't watch it. Don't waste your time.
No. It's not even a background fluff watch. I'm like, it's legitimately bad. And when we get into the spoiler-filled section, I will talk about, there is one thing that I actually find legitimately upsetting and offensive about this.
Okay.
So I would actively say, do not see and support this movie.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard your point, but I support it preemptively.
Thank you.
You've got good ideas.
I appreciate this. And can it be spoiled?
I guess. There's no dancing, guys. So we've spoiled that already.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, you wouldn't care when you watched it.
You wouldn't.
If we spoiled anything right now.
I also think that there's just no twists and turns. It
isn't.
Thinks that there is, but it's a man who runs it's a man who walks, actually, with a hood up for 2.5 hours. There's nothing to spoil. There's no depth here.
It's nothing.
No.
Oh boy.
Well,
time for a dunk contest.
It's time for a dunk contest. I actually do have a note. There are 3 or 4 positives I do have about this, and I think, like, one of the negative things I'll say is that there aren't more of these couple of things. So I will have some positive things to say as we get into the spoiler-filled section. But yeah, Wolf.
But yeah, woof.
Woof. Well, let's get into the spoiler-filled section. Let's talk more about 2025's The Running Man. All right, we have seen The Running Man and did not much enjoy it.
No, I feel really bad for you. You love Edgar Wright.
I do love him.
This is really sad for me.
And none of his personalities here.
None of his personalities here. There's not a joke to be found. I mean, when you said, I kind of hadn't really thought about the fact that, like, the first one is such big personalities. I hadn't thought about the lack of big personalities. Because I think the only even kind of big personality is, like, Michael Cera, who's doing something at least.
He's at least doing something.
He's doing something.
He's a soft like for me. He doesn't bring it up to like elevated heights, but I'm like, you're doing something.
There's a tone specific there that could have been interesting if the whole movie was that tone.
Yeah. Here's actually something that I find interesting, just kind of like on the marketing of this film. Is the posters for this movie on the subject of Edgar Wright, it's just like, it doesn't feel like him and what's going on here. All the posters for this movie say from the director of Baby Driver, and they've really been pushing Baby Driver in the marketing campaign, which I find to be a truly out of touch and insane decision. Because for people like me who are big fans of Edgar Wright, we love Edgar Wright for their Cornetto trilogy. And you could say Shaun of the Dead. I would say, not after seeing this Running Man, Hot Fuzz would be a good, I'd be excited to see a Hot Fuzz director's version of The Running Man. The Cornetto trilogy are what, Edgar Wright fans love. But I get those are more comedic, and maybe you're trying to distance yourself a little bit. There's another half of Edgar Wright fans who are the, big cinephile, I want to talk about cinematography and 35 millimeter cameras, who love Last Night in Soho and its camera work and the behind the scenes details of how many Anya Taylor-Joy lookalikes and mirrors and handing 35 millimeter cameras through false walls to shoot these glorious dance sequences. No one's talking about Baby Driver, a movie that came out, I think, the same week that everything about Kevin Spacey blew up publicly in a movie that publicly stars Kevin Spacey. And we talked about it on the podcast. Kevin Spacey aside, I liked it a bit more than you. It's fine. But to be this is the movie from the director of Baby Driver, I'm like, is everyone in this marketing department fucking stupid?
Well,
why are we bringing this movie up?
Well, it's the marketing department who made this Running Man. So they're not good at advertising or making entertaining things. What's everyone's favorite Edgar Wright movie? Probably Baby Driver. We're all gonna say the one with the pedophile, the guy who got canceled immediately.
The one with the notorious criminal and awful human being. That one.
The most recent Kevin Spacey movie before he was canceled. Yeah, we all remember Baby Driver. I think the only reason I can comprehend that would be the one they pick is, oddly enough, I do think that's his financially most successful movie.
Okay, maybe in box office.
That's what I mean. If you just look at pure numbers, I think that one made the most money because it had the most actual, John Hamm's in it. It had more star power than the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.
Definitely not his best movie. Even as not a huge Edgar Wright fan, I'm like, it's Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it has some good car chase stuff, which this movie doesn't have. So I'm like, why are we talking about Baby Driver? I just don't know what's going through anyone's head behind this movie.
I guess it's the closest thing he did to Running Man.
Possibly so.
Possibly. But yeah, right from the beginning, it's what are we doing?
Yeah. And so I think the other thing I want to talk about on the Edgar Wrightism of the pacing of this. The pacing. Edgar Wright is known for snappy, quick cut, Sam Raimi-esque of montage smash cut to it. In this movie, Glenn Powell's titular Running Man at one point has to go from a major city to rural North Maine, I think. And it's just such a slog. And I'm like, there's 5 minutes in Hot Fuzz where Simon Pegg's character goes from a police officer in London to rural police officer, and it's the peppiest, fastest thing, and it has 5 minutes of better storytelling than 2 hours of this movie, quite frankly. So I'm like, where did that guy go? I just don't know where that guy went.
Can I posit a theory based on nothing? That just what immediately comes to mind.
I'd love to hear this theory.
Did Edgar Wright lose his editor?
Ooh, interesting.
Because a lot of what you're describing is in the edit. Like, you have to get the footage, and then you describe the edit you want to the editor. And, like, he does have a very distinct style, but I don't know if he edits his own stuff. Because this isn't edited like Edgar Wright, but everything he filmed could have been Edgar Wrighted in the editing room.
That's a really good point. Yeah, like one of those, there's another collaborator we're all missing. Like at any time Zack Snyder has done well, it's been that specific cinematographer.
I was just about to say that was the example I was thinking of.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan had a specific cinematographer that worked on most of his famous, like, so it's like there's always...
There's a secret collaboration
There's a secret collaboration that's a little bit public, less public facing.
George Lucas's wife was his editor?
Yeah.
So, like, the edit is wildly important.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is 2 hours and 20 minutes, I'm like, Edgar Wright, did you have a falling out with your editor?
Someone's missing.
Or like the studio was like, you're going to use our editor. Or like there was a lost edit somewhere.
That's a very I love that wild theory.
This is a wild theory.
I'm wild about your wild theory.
Woo!
Woo!
Look at us go. We're finding reasons to forgive Edgar Wright for The Running Man immediately.
Hold on 1 second.
Are we going to look it up?
No, no, before we go forgiving anyone. So I'd say I do want to go into my bleakest negative about this movie. And then I will say some kind things. I was trying to dig out of this hole after the first little bit of the movie, where I was like, I'm actively mad at you. I think you're problematic. Fuck you and fuck this movie. And I had to actively dig out of it to be like, no, thousands of people work on a film. Let's try to look at some performances and feel how it is. In this movie, Glenn Powell's character, it's, a bleak dystopian future. He's been fired because he tipped off unions about irradiated workplaces and this type of stuff. And they've got a sick child that they need to take care of. And his wife is implied to work at some kind of a sex club or a strip joint of some way. And she works, but she's only serving drinks. Don't worry about it. And then she's like, well, they actually make pretty good money servicing customers, and I could get our daughter medicine since you can't work, and I can easily fix all of our problems by simply doing sex work, which is a thing that I am gladly consenting to. And the whole plot of this movie revolves around him as a character to be like, no, it's better to do murders and kill myself than to be less of a man and allow my wife to do sex work. It's very sex negative. It's disrespectful to the sex worker industry. It's sickening and gross, and it pissed me off. And I'm so fucking disappointed in films that somehow Deadpool has been the kindest film towards people who work in the sex industry.
Wildly kind towards sex workers.
And that's absolutely bananas that that movie is the kindest to sex workers, and that this movie is just like, no, it's your job as a man to make sure your wife doesn't do that because that reflects poorly on you and it makes you look shitty. And like, she wants to do it and she's okay with doing it, and it would take care of your child. And yes, there's broader cultural problems in this dystopian future. And, when sex work is criminalized, it is less of a safe workplace. And there's a conversation to be had there about safety, which he does vaguely bring up. And that's a bigger picture thing. But it's a thing she's willing to consent to, and she's shamed over it and pushed into the corners of this story. And if that is what's in the book, you tear that page out of the book and throw it in a goddamn fire. It's 2025. Do not treat people like this. It is unacceptable, and I found it offensive and truly embarrassing that I was watching a movie that's still doing this. I
like this take, but I'm only kind of half on board here. Because as much as I agree, she was like, if I just switch to sex work instead of waitressing, we have enough for our child to get her medicine. But to me, that's not really quite I'm consenting to sex work. She's not enthusiastically going into the sex work industry.
Yes, I understand with that. Yes.
That is different to me. That, and they kind of walk an okay line, I think, with Glenn Powell being like, no, I'm auditioning for the other shows, not the ones where you kill people.
Yeah.
He's not intending to go on The Running Man. I like to believe.
Yes.
So I think there is that aspect that, like, me personally, I'm like, yeah, I could see where I could be backed into a corner to do sex work. I still wouldn't really want to be doing sex work.
I get it. And I mean, like, he's also been backed into a corner where he is working in irradiated workplaces. So I'm like, he is selling his body more than she ever is. So I think that that's another thing where I'm like, you're a piece of shit.
I do like that conversation a lot that I don't think people have enough of, that manual labor is selling your body in just slightly different ways than sex work is. You are destroying your body physically instead of just sexually pleasing someone else. Yep. It's all just your body labor.
Yeah. And there are people in this dystopian world who are like, I got lung cancer from my workplace because we lost workers' protections. But don't do sex work because that's shameful. No, I don't like that the movie has that undertone, and it feels very antiquated. But I see what you're saying. There's a way that they could have that conversation in this. And I think they don't. Mm-hmm. You could have her talk to any other female character who is like, hey, you could pick up extra money if you do this. And her being like, I actually don't want to be forced into doing that. And then she has agency and a conversation. And I don't consent is a great reason for her to not do that. But we don't have a second female character or a reason for her to not. And so it just becomes really shitty to me.
It does feel really shitty. It is a very like kind of toxic masculine, like, even if it's not sex work, it feels like my wife can't be the provider.
Yes, it absolutely feels like that.
Sex work aside, it just feels sexist no matter what. It feels like I'd rather just go kill myself than let my wife bring the money in any way.
I'd rather murder other people. Even like I'd rather kill myself and murder others than let my wife bring money in or work within the sex industry.
Or even just like if he didn't make it on Running Man, as she said, the other shows also just wildly injure you. Like The Running Man seems to be the only one where you die, and he was like, I'll just go on one of the other shows. And we watched the one where you're in the spinning wheel and then you fall into a giant hole, and I don't think that guy's okay.
No, in no way.
I don't think that guy's okay.
In no way.
So yeah, there's a lot of things here that could be such good social discussions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like sex work discussions, how labor is selling your body no matter what. And none of that's happening here.
No.
This really is just a man being like, I have to do anything for my family.
I have to provide for a woman.
Yeah, like when his wife walks in, or girlfriend, I don't know what they are. When she walks in and she's in like a nice outfit, I'm like, she clearly has like a pretty okay job.
Yeah.
Like she's working at a pretty high-end restaurant or sex club or whatever.
You need to start supporting her. You need to start supporting her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You need to be at home with this baby. You need to be reading a book on how to create penicillin from fucking fungus in the house. Because you're unemployable and she is. And who's looking after you need to be a stay-at-home dad. But yeah, so it was I had to really push beyond that to be like, let's give this movie a chance.
We do have 2 more hours of movie.
And then I gave the movie a chance, and I did, I think, emotionally be able to get past that, and the movie still sucked and was a slog.
See, I had a different part that really pissed me off.
Oh, let me hear it.
And it was still quite early. I was really pissed off when, was it William H. Macy who gave him a bunch of stuff? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was really pissed off when William H. Macy revealed that he was about to give him a job. I thought that fucking sucked as like, just like a theme, because to me that said like, oh, you know what, everyone, not just the Running Man, but like to everyone, you're not actually backed into a corner. Someone out there is willing to give you a job. Yeah. I really thought that absolutely sucked. Like, because the point of a movie like this is like the corporations don't give people a choice. They have to sell their bodies in some way, either through sex work or manual labor or going on the Running Man. So the fact that just like 30 minutes in, William H. Macy's like, oh no, I was going to give you like a full job. I made a little suit with your name on it. There might have been benefits. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a place of business where you'd have a uniform. I'm just going to throw that out there. And I thought that really sucked as just an idea of like, oh, you don't have to do the extreme thing. There's a real job out there for you somewhere. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that sucks. There's not.
Yeah.
That's not what the theme of life is.
In
In a dystopia, especially.
Yeah, the thing that this dystopian future should have to say is that, yeah, your rights and options have been stripped from you. And
You were backed into this corner and you didn't have a choice.
And they've written him as a character that's like, no, you had a bunch of choices, and actually you're kind of an unlikable character, and I'm not rooting for him in any way. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer in that regard.
I'm not rooting for him. And
I'm not rooting for him.
There's so many weird things they do to not root for him. Because, like, they try to make him, like, a nice, compassionate guy. That guy starts coughing and passes out in line, and they're like, he's going to help him. He's going to just demand a doctor. And then at no point during The Running Man is he, like, a compassionate, kind guy. Like, that's his, like, motivating force or his character traits. Not that he's mean.
Yeah.
But, like, he's not like, I'm here to save everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just a lot of weird stuff.
I think that is a problem with Glenn Powell's performance in this. That kind of leads into that very well, is that he does not have, and it's crazy because we've seen him in other things, and he has a lot of charisma and chemistry with other people. He has no chemistry with any of his co-stars in this. And I think it's because he has been directed to brood, and he's trying to be anger personified, but he's doing it every second. Like, he feels like he's about to hit his wife, if I'm being honest. I'm like, you have negative charisma and you're angry in this scene.
Oh, I didn't feel like he was about to hit his wife, but he's...
I'm like, like Michael Cera, the other driver, that lady at the end. I'm like, all of the people that you're with who are like, wow, you're really turning me around and I'm rooting for you. I'm like, he's kind of, even when he's like, get this man a doctor, I hate him. Like, he's angry at all of the people, and it doesn't, there's no chemistry. There's no rapport with any of the other characters.
I agree. There's absolutely no rapport with anyone. There might be, like, slightly interesting scenes with William H. Macy and Michael Cera because there's just, like, kind of more happening in those scenes, but it's not because the actors have, like, found a nice back and forth or any kind of banter or any kind of balance between what their characters are bringing to the scene. Yeah, he's very angry, and, like, the anger is weirdly varying at the same time. Is it weird that, like, I think the scene where I liked him the most was he was actually not angry for a second when he was just watching TV in a hotel room in one scene? I'm like, he seems like a real guy right now.
He felt like a real person for a second.
He's just eating chips in bed, watching the fucking Kardashians.
Yep.
That's a real guy.
Yeah.
And that was the most I liked Glenn Powell in this whole movie.
Yeah, whereas every other scene, he's seething.
He is, yeah. He's tensed.
He's tense. Yeah, he feels angry like a drunk and not angry like a man who's been scorned by the system. You know, like, it feels like that. Like, I've seen people like him at a bar, and I'm like, we got to get out of this bar, or, like, I hope the bartender cuts them off, because, like, it's an anger that I'm like, it's dangerous, but not in an anarchist way. In a, like,
it's not going to cause a revolution.
I don't want to be around when whatever happens with you happens, because you seem unstable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wrong kind of anger.
Wrong kind of anger. Should we get to a positive?
Let's lay a positive down.
Let's lay a positive down.
Let's lay a positive down.
Let's be nice.
So like the other film, from the 80s, there are other people who are entered into the Running Man. So there are 3 people who are entered into the Running Man contest. And the other 2 are a delight, an absolute delight. It's Martin Hurley as this guy, Jansky, who's just kind of like an idiot, nerd tech guy, and he gets killed because he's hitting on a barista in a coffee shop when the hunters come looking for him. It's so funny. He plays it so well. It's really comedic. It's one of the few jokes in the movie, and, like, it lands really good. He's really charming and fun, and I like it.
He is really charming and fun. He's hardly in the movie, but him being killed because he was flirting with the barista, and his flirting line was, "Do you watch The Running Man? People say I kind of look like the cute guy from The Running Man." I'm like, did you see that you were also in the same category as Glenn Powell? For your slots.
Yeah.
Even Caddy O'Brien. More handsome. So yeah, he's very funny. And yeah, he's like, just like, has like fun, like little bits. Like when that elevator's closing, he's like, "Do you like spaghetti?" His flirt lines are hilarious.
Yes.
Do you like spaghetti? No, out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
There's no spaghetti in the scene.
No. Feels like the only person improving on this set.
Ooh, absolutely the only person who improved on this set. I don't know why, just him.
But he's doing it. So he's fun as the other one. And then that leads me to probably like my big positive. which is Katie O'Brien as the other runner. She fucking rules. She is incredible. I'm tired of saying it. Every time she shows up in something, you're tired of hearing it, I'm tired of saying it. She is amazing. She drips charisma and cool and fun. And I'm like, hell yes, she's here. And it is great to see.
It is great to see. When she was running away from her, like she gets killed in the end, but there's the sequence where she is running away from the hunters. And it was so much more dynamic and interesting than any of Glenn Powell's action scenes.
It's the best action scene in the movie.
Best action scene in the movie.
Katie O'Brien fighting hunters in a casino is played as a
cowboy hat and having fun, jumping into a pink Cadillac. I'm like, that's the Running Man.
That's the Running Man.
She's in Vegas. She's jumping into a Cadillac. She's running down escalators. She's flipping over poker tables.
Yeah.
That's the Running Man.
That's the Running Man.
And she's having fun. And it's really sad that she just gets killed, because I was like, oh man, if I could just stay with that character through the Running Man.
And this is the biggest problem with Katie O'Brien in general, and I am tired of seeing her as supporting characters in movies with bland milquetoast dudes as the lead. It happened in Mission Impossible. It's happening in The Mandalorian. It happened in Twisters, which is also Glenn Powell, but Glenn Powell was doing a bit better there.
He was having more fun in Twisters.
But Katie O'Brien shows up playing some kind of an awesome character in every movie with some kind of awesome name. Like Katie O'Brien will show up mid-movie and be like, hey, it's me, Athena Bricks. And you're like, fuck yeah, Athena Bricks is here.
Oh shit, we're all fucked. Athena Bricks is gonna wreck us, but we're gonna like it.
Yeah, and then every movie is like, wave goodbye to your favorite character, Athena Bricks. Now it's time to go back to this bland, straight white man. His name is Jonathan Blarf. And I'm just like, why? I don't want to go back to that dude. He's every dude who is in front of her sucks. That dude sucks and is boring. Show me this awesome fucking superhero.
She's always doing a better movie behind someone else. Even in Mission Impossible, she was so established as just like, yeah, I work in a submarine, I'm in the military, and I'm super cool. I'm like, can we stay in the submarine? With Katie O'Brien?
I do not care at all about what Tom Cruise as Ethan Jorby Narnathan does. Just he's a bag of milk. Go back to Katie O'Brien on the submarine.
Yeah. So every time we see her in something.
Every time. And they're like, say goodbye. We now need to go back to the toast factory where our lead character works.
I think she was a co-lead with Kristen Stewart in a movie recently.
Yes.
But it wasn't quite actiony.
Yeah.
But she deserves it.
But in these she should be the lead of a popcorn action series goddamn franchise.
How she's not in a Fast and Furious is crazy to me.
It's truly insane.
She'd fit that perfect.
It's truly insane how underutilized she currently is. A huge highlight. A huge highlight, and one of my negatives is that there isn't more of her. And they just kind of okay, this was the first moment of the movie where I'm like, this feels like a reshoot, is the death of her character.
Yes.
So for those who didn't see it, it's three, people who enter the Running Man. Nerdy guy gets shot on day 2 trying to pick up a barista. And it's pretty bland and it's played for comedy and it kind of works. And mid-movie, they kind of establish this thing where it's like, there's one person in the Running Man who's always a wild card. There's always a Charlie Day. There's one wild card in the Running Man.
He would go into the sewers and never come back up.
Yeah, I do think Charlie from It's Always Sunny. Charlie from It's Always Sunny actually might survive the Running Man.
Later, we have to do an episode of our podcast about fictional characters who would survive the Running Man.
Oh,
that would actually be really fun.
I would love that. Yeah, Charlie from It's Always Sunny. Do you have any off the top of your head that you think might survive?
Oh, might survive, but Charlie might survive in the most interesting way.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, no. I mean, this is why I'd want to prepare for the episode. But, immediately I just go to superheroes, and that feels like cheating. I'm like, Bucky Barnes would survive, but I'm like, of course he would. He can survive anything.
Yeah, I think we would have to go superheroes.
Yeah, real people.
Yeah, real people who would survive the Running Man.
Bucky Barnes before powers. I'm just stuck on one character.
You're stuck on one
There's
character.
no other characters. Nothing is coming.
Nothing is coming. No other characters have ever existed.
No, that's it.
That's it. how did we get there? Yes. So Katie O'Brien is the wild card. She is the Charlie from It's Always Sunny. And so she has this big like blowout action scene at a casino where she gets away from all of the hunters, drives away in a pink Cadillac. It cuts back to like the studio of The Running Man. And Coleman Domingo as the host, who I'll talk more about in a minute, is like, she got away. Or did she? And then they just show a burning car in like a thing. And he's like, these kids burned her. We have footage. But it's like a shed in the woods and there's no props or other trees around. It actually looks like a half-finished shed on a sound stage. It looks like it was within the context of the movie and also outside of the context of the movie, filmed poorly in reshoots. And I wasn't sure because like the movie's doing that thing that the original does where it's like they can deep fake AI footage. So I kept expecting her to come back to be like, clearly she got away and didn't actually die, but they want to have it look like she died. So they CGI'd this thing and put it on television to be like, she died, don't worry about it. But she's actually out there and she'll meet up with Glenn Powell later. But I guess she just did die in a boring kind of off-camera, what felt like a reshoot kind of a way, as if they tested it and all of the audiences were saying, like I was saying, bring back Katie. And the filmmakers were like, Edgar, you got to go shoot something where she dies because no one cares about Glenn if she is still out there alive.
I absolutely thought she was still out there alive. 100%. I had the same read. I was like, this weird, like, she died later in a shed. I was like, oh, okay, so this is fake footage. Like, they just have, like, this one close-up of her, and then she lights on fire. They didn't have any of the drone shots. Yeah, it's terribly filmed. It comes out of nowhere. It's really abrupt. Yeah, it feels like within the show, they did just fake the footage. And that would have explained why it looked shitty and weird, and why suddenly there's two kids with flamethrowers in the studio even. So it was, because what kids are just walking around with flamethrowers? She wasn't known to be in the area at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know what America's doing.
Yeah.
America might be like that.
They might be flamethrowing.
They might just give a child a flamethrower every now and then. I agree. It looked really cheap, really weird. I also didn't think she was quite dead. And if she was dead, it was like, well, that's not satisfying. Like, I don't feel like, oh no. It took away my like sadness because I was like, well, she's not dead. That was fake.
Yeah.
So I was denied my grieving.
Yeah, I was like, same thing. I didn't grieve because I was like, well, that's fake and it's going to come up later. It's so sloppily filmed and put together. But that was just legitimately what the movie looked like in that section.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, like, I think I silly, in a very silly way, like the original Running Man. But when his friends died, it was like impactful.
Yeah, they were his friends. They had relationships, and they
died in his arms.
Yeah, and they had a rapport, which Glenn Powell does not have with anyone there.
Not with anyone. I mean, he might have had a rapport with those two if he like spent more time with them.
They don't give enough time with those two.
There's not enough time with them. I mean, yeah, this might lead into like my next weird negative that was a positive for a second because I really liked the testing to be on the show. That was really fun. I was like, oh, okay, you have to like, oh, look at all the skills he's learned by being a laborer. He can climb really high because he used to climb like power lines or whatever he was climbing. He knows demolitions because he worked in construction. Oh, cool. Look at all the skills he's got that he's definitely going to use on the Running Man. Oh, he saves people when they're about to die. He's definitely going to do that on the Running Man. And then he didn't use a single skill from the testing about like being like a man of the people. Like, look at all these skills he got as a laborer, as a working class man. And he's physically fit because of it. He's perfect for the Running Man. And he didn't use any of that shit on the Running Man.
Most of his journey is him walking 2 rooms, and that's it.
That's it. Like, he had kind of a knowledge of demolitions when he like lied about having a bomb.
Yeah.
But he really needed to have an actual bomb.
Yeah.
Like, I worked in demolitions. I know about bombs.
Yeah.
I can climb really high. He didn't climb shit. Oh, he climbed the building one time. Oh, in the towel.
Okay, yeah,
he
a
didn't
little
climb
bit.
The building
he
in the towel
repelled a little bit, even though rappelling was not in that opening montage. Sloppy.
And I was really expecting better. I'm like, oh, we're going to have direct callbacks to all 3 of these things that we just did in the testing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, this guy had no skills.
Nothing. And
I wasn't rooting for Glenn Powell. This guy didn't have a skill, a strategy, a thought.
Yep. And especially from, and again, going back to the Edgar Wright thing, a man who is so meticulous at callbacks.
That's what I mean.
To the point that it's like his scripts are like, if you break up the first half of one of his movies to the second half of his movie, it's like a mirror. Everything is exactly called back in his movies. It's so perfectly framed. And in this one, it's like, well, he's going up a ladder in training, and later he climbs down a rope, and those are similar. I'm like, why wasn't it a rope in training, though? Like, you're so good, Edgar Wright, at these one-to-one perfect parallels between the first half and second half of movies.
Yeah, like he blew up a building accidentally, but he worked in demolition.
Yeah.
Why didn't he blow up a building on purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that could have been a thing he did.
Really strange stuff.
Yeah, really unbalanced and not like him at all.
Yeah, not like him at all. Even though, like, that moment, the training montage where it's like, I'm climbing up a fake rock wall, and then it cuts to him on a job site. Those cutaways were a little bit Edgar Wright, and they worked in that moment,
yes,
making me think that they would call back to it.
Of course.
Yeah, but he never catches someone while they fall.
No.
He doesn't do any of that stuff.
Some third thing with water that didn't come up again.
Yeah, him going up a ladder while water rushes against him and stuff like that. Yeah, it just doesn't come up again.
It just doesn't work.
And here's another thing that I feel like on the reshoots topic. So I mentioned, the Katie O'Brien's character just kind of dying off screen, but then feeling like reshoots. Another consistent thing that this movie has a problem with that I think could have been a theme and confused test audiences and then was reshot to answer is what is or is not reality. So this movie does it a couple of times. Those of you who didn't see this and maybe saw the original, they do the thing where it's like the TV station / government can deep fake and fake things that happened to look more favorable to them. So they can make Glenn Powell's character out to be a villain if they want to, make him say what he wants. They can completely doctor footage. And there are times in the movie where we are presented that footage as if it's the movie. And then it'll pull back and be like, but it wasn't. That was actually the AI deepfake. And sometimes it presents it as the deepfake. And we're on our toes like, what is or isn't reality? But then there's a couple of times where we also get Glenn Powell's character's visions of violence. So it's another unreality that's happening. So I'm like, okay, so now we're getting stuff that sometimes is in his mind and sometimes is deep fakes, but sometimes it's him watching a deep fake of what himself is doing. And then it goes towards this ending that's very ambiguous to be like, which I actually think is the more artistic decision that I'm willing to bet Edgar Wright probably wanted, where 20 minutes before the ending of this movie, there is an ending of the movie where it's like, did the plane explode? Did his character die? Did the legend live on? Everyone says that he lives, but is that hope living on, or is he actually living on? And was the footage on TV deep faked? And like a very ambiguous thing. And then this vlogger character comes out and does 6 minutes of like, no, actually, there's a lot of things that it could have been. But anyway, let's go look at the lead character. He's safe and sees his wife and is in love. And then Josh Brolin as a network executive trips and a riot starts out of nowhere with no motivation whatsoever. And Coleman Domingo's character tested really well with focus audiences, so he walked away.
We let him live.
And it is just a series of slopped together of like, hey, no one, and it really feels like test audiences did not like the ambiguous what is reality ending. We need to show the lead character see his wife and help her. And then we also need to see the character that they don't like die, and we need to see the character that they kind of like get away.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll even add a third weird ambiguity, which is when Josh Brolin is like, yeah, they killed your wife and child. And he's like, but did they? He's like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you either way.
And that was creepy and cool.
Up.
Yeah.
It's slightly fucked up, but it added a third, like, what is reality? So this movie really had to decide, like, how are you what is realitying us? Is it through his weird visions, or is it through deep fakes, or is it through people lying?
Yes.
Like, to your face.
Yeah.
That's too many reality fucks in a movie that isn't about, like, isn't a weird arty thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It isn't like a Vanilla Sky.
I was about to say Vanilla Sky, Aubrey Los Ojos, Eternal Sunshine thing.
One of those weird mindfuck movies. This
Yeah.
isn't that. This is an action thriller.
Yes.
You can't have 3 levels of what is reality going on. This isn't Inception, which
No.
is also an action thriller. Still.
You can, and it might alienate audiences or whatever, but you got to dedicate to
You
that
gotta make a cool
decision.
choice.
Because like that might not be a movie we love, but that at least would be exactly what you describe all of Edgar Wright's other movies as, a movie you respect but didn't enjoy eating popcorn at, where it would be like a movie where Josh Brolin's character is like, if I show you your family alive, I could have deep faked that. Why would you believe it? I could show you they're dead. I could deep fake that too. You don't know what anything is, so just take the money. That is a really scary place to be. But then for the movie later to be like, they're actually alive. I know that no one liked the idea that they might be dead. Audiences did not like the idea of maybe they're both the whole Schrodinger's cat, but for a wife and daughter who may or may not have been murdered.
We need to know
was
if the
not
baby's
fun.
alive.
Yeah, yeah.
No ambiguity in that. You can be ambiguous about Glenn Powell. People do need to know if a baby's alive.
Yeah, yeah. But then they were also still just like, Glenn Powell's alive.
Glenn Powell's alive.
He's the hero of the movie.
No, everybody's alive, and he won, even though he didn't want to be a revolutionary and wasn't actually causing a revolution in my mind.
No, and
Even though he was mad, and I think is pro-revolution. He's pro-union.
he's pro-union.
He's a union man.
Yeah.
And he was pro-revolution, but he had no interest in it at the same time.
He's such a boring character.
Such a boring. None of these people should have been helping him.
He has no interests.
No interest, no skills. He can't fight. None of his like white collar stuff comes up. He doesn't have like, other than William H. Macy, he doesn't have any contacts to help him. He doesn't have who got on the Running Man without a plan?
Yeah.
Like, I find it crazy that no one's gone on the Running Man and been like, and I have a solid plan and I easily won.
Yeah. Except for Lee Pace's character, who is the lead hunter who hunts the running people, and his name is McCone. And he, I guess, was the winner of season 1, and they offered him the same deal that Glenn Powell gets, where it's like, hey, you've come so far. What if we made you a hunter? But that whole story didn't work for me, where I'm like, all these hunters, the hunters that are chasing them, they're not big and bombastic. They have no personalities. They're all completely interchangeable. It's just kind of bland government men, which makes it really boring.
Crazy after a movie that was like, here's Dynamo, here's Fireblade, here's Ice Pick.
And I get maybe you don't go that big, but at the very least, it should have the diversity of a Fast and Furious crew. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're not made of fire and electricity. Maybe it's not a Hideo Kojima character. Maybe they're not made of bees or whatever. You know, like
They should be made of bees.
But they should at least have the visual diversity of a Fast and Furious crew.
They should at least have the interesting, like, the weapon dynamic of a Ninja Turtles, you know?
Something.
I'm a knife guy. I'm a sword guy. I'm a gun guy. Something.
They're all the same guy, and one guy, the lead one, who played by Lee Pace, has ski mask, and I guess used to be on The Running Man. But they have this storyline where it's like, hey, I was the season 1 winner, and it's a big reveal when he pulls off his mask. But we don't see the world react. Like, no one in the world is like, oh my God, the season 1 winner is the hunter? Like, no one has any emotional connection to this. Neither do we as an audience, because they never showed us the season 1 winner. And he takes off his mask, and he's got some light scarring. And Glenn Powell's character is like, oh my God, your face. And I'm like, no, he's not actually scarred up enough to have a reaction or to hide your face. He's not famous.
His scars looked more like acne scars, and I was
Yeah.
like, rude, Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
He probably always had those.
to bring up light pockmarks. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I assume the mask wasn't even because he had scars. It was to hide the fact that he was the season 1 winner.
But we never saw the season 1 winner.
I know, but like the audience would know.
Yeah, but we didn't see audience reactions.
No, yeah, we
either.
definitely didn't see a de-aged Lee Pace as the season 1 winner. They showed us the season 1 winner, but it was not Lee Pace.
No.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that was all really weird. And I was also really hoping that this whole mask thing, I think the movie was made too early for it to be. I was like, is this going to be like is this going to be about ICE? Is this whole masked cop thing about like ICE not taking their masks off when they hunt people?
Oh, interesting.
I thought this was going to be a commentary on that, and it wasn't at all. It was really just like, this guy had a secret identity. I was like, oh, it's not about the non-accountability of the police?
Huh.
Oh.
Huh.
It's just
disappointing.
Lee Pace.
Hi, Lee Pace.
Hi, Lee Pace. I thought this was going to be a cool theme about accountability of the police force.
No, once again, it is theme adjacent.
Theme adjacent.
Theme adjacent.
Almost could have been a theme.
So it could have been, but it wasn't.
So yeah, no, that had no payoff whatsoever.
Yeah. No, none.
So pretty, yeah, that didn't do anything.
Here's a positive, though. Let's get back to a positive. I glanced upon it. Coleman Domingo is the host of the television program, The Running Man. He's great. He's charming. I had a really good time with him. You're not on board for this? He didn't do it for you?
For me.
Okay.
Not that I even think he wasn't, like, good, but he didn't have enough, like, accoutrement around him. This isn't just about the dancing again, but it's also kind of about the dancing again.
It seems like it might be about the dancing
like,
again.
I could have had more dancing, but when I think about the original, it's like, oh, you're interacting with the audience, and you actually are charming, and, like, there's this... It's, as you said, big and bombastic. The stage was even so much bigger.
Yeah.
So it's this small stage. And it didn't make me feel anything. I don't know if it was him or just like the direction or like where he was placed. But I was like, yeah, he's kind of big. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not to bring down your positive.
Well, dang. Well, that was
Sorry.
my last positive, so I'm out of positivity.
Well, my positive, it's weird that we kind of liked pretty much everyone in this movie because my positive was going to be Michael Cera and his weird house.
Ooh, okay.
I liked his Home Alone house a lot.
I liked his Home Alone house.
I could have done like more of the Home Alone house. I think there was only like 2 traps. I could have done like 20 minutes of weird traps in the house.
Yes, I could have done without his mother is a cartoon witch. That whole character did not work and was pretty grating and did not work for me at all.
I want to believe in my soul that she was supposed to have been brainwashed by Fox TV. Because he was like...
Oh, is that what that's supposed to represent?
After Dad died, she didn't stop watching TV and she became this.
Ah, okay.
So I think that's... I want to hope...
Why she's stark raving lunatic.
Because she only watches Fox News, which is what this is.
Okay, I could... You know what? As you describe it as that, I can see on paper why that would work.
On
and actually,
paper.
I'm switching to being on board with it on paper. And I think it just does not work doing this like, he's a demon who eats your children. And I'm like,
It's too
I
much.
don't know why you're an animated witch.
Yes, thinking a man is an actual demon is too much. But if she had just been very, like, brainwashed by the news,
Yeah.
it would have probably landed a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I think, yes. On paper, I think they had something to say there.
I love it. You've really sold me on what that is on paper.
That is a young man who lives with his mother, who is like left leaning, he can't unbrainwash his mom, even though he controls everything she does.
Yeah.
And that's very real in today's society. I think that might have been the only like good thing that I took away from this movie. That I'm like, actually, I think they kind of nailed this.
God damn, you're right. You're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
And then I think the traps were fun. I think Michael Cera
The traps
actually had
I
a
was
little
never
personality.
arguing about the traps.
I think he had like a little personality. He was a little bit fun. He was having a good time. So yeah, and then I could have done like with more traps, but I was like, oh, you got like an electrified floor, and you got a table that shoots chemicals at you and turn you into the Flash or something. I don't know what that's gonna do.
Awesome. It's awesome is what it is.
It's all awesome.
Yeah.
Even just the way he describes his stuff. Got a printer of magazines that aren't revolutionary, that's for sure. And
Wink, yeah.
the winky way he described his whole like lair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole sequence was
Taking out that dude's Achilles, like that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he threatened to take out Glenn Powell's Achilles. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this whole sequence, if the movie had this tone, I think it would be really fun.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The Home Alone / Skyfall sequence. And
Oh no! The fact that Skyfall falls in the same category as Home Alone.
they're the same movie. Let's get fucking real. Let's be real with each other.
Sorry, Daniel Craig. You and Macaulay Culkin, the same guy.
We don't need to put on airs at the Talk from Superheroes podcast. I get pretentious enough sometimes. Let's loosen it up a little bit.
Oh my god.
But yes, the Home Alone Skyfall section worked, and the Katie O'Brien casino fight scene worked. Those were two big ones. Let's go over to old Trope Corner.
Oh, we haven't gone to Trope Corner for
It's been a
bit,
while
maybe?
since we've gone to Trope Corner. Trope Corner.
Trope Corner.
I don't know if this necessarily falls into tropes, but it's something we like to analyze frequently on the podcast, which is good and bad product placement. And let's just take a moment to talk about...
This was nuts.
This was nuts, obtrusive, and bad. There was an ad for Liquid Death. That was just an ad for Liquid Death. Like, there was no, we snuck it in. There was no, like, hey, it's an ad for PlayStation 5, and the two lead characters are having a conversation while they play PlayStation 5. Like, there was... Puma sneakers had some advertising in this movie, which leaned toward the obtrusive and uncool.
There was a lot of close-ups, but I'm like, it's a movie about running, and a sneaker got involved.
And it's a running sneaker company.
Fine.
You forced the close-up, but it is a make-sense partnership. But they just have a scene where a TV plays an ad for Liquid Death, and it's just a 30-second TV ad for Liquid Death.
I honestly thought, because I think Colman Domingo is narrating it.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he's doing the ad for Liquid Death.
He drinks it. He does the ad.
He drinks it, and what's crazy, I was like, well, we used to do ads for Liquid Death, so we're on the same level.
Look how far they've came.
Look how far
I'm not above advertising Liquid Death.
But I actually was wondering, because that was a couple years ago that we worked with them. I was like, oh, has Liquid Death like gone under, and now it's just a fake brand? Because I thought he was going to be like, Liquid Death Monster Energy Drink. It's made of actual fire or something. Like something really elevated. Because Liquid Death is just water.
It's just water, yeah.
And that doesn't feel like the world of the Running Man.
Yeah.
It's
just branded water. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they forked out for that. I think Liquid Death are doing well. At least their advertising spend seems to be going up. I don't know how much they paid to just run an ad in the middle of a movie.
Mm-hmm. We got to write them back.
Yeah. You're like, how much money do you... I'm cheaper than Colman Domingo. I can tell you that.
We'll tell people to drink Liquid Death again.
I won't tell people exactly how much I make, but it's less than Colman Domingo did for 2015's The Running Man. I'm not going to tell you my rates. You have to email me for that, and I'll connect you with my agent. But I am definitively cheaper than Colman Domingo in 2025's The Running Man.
We can make that scale pretty easy.
Yeah.
We will reveal those non-numbers.
Yeah. If you piece together all the clues over the years, you could figure out how much money I make. But
yeah, that was crazy. And
it was crazy.
I was only relieved that only happened once, because it cuts to The Running Man so many times. And I was like, how many ads are we going to be shown that are real ads?
Yeah.
Because it should be all just like fake ads.
Yes.
Here's other game shows we make. Here's really ridiculous shit in the world of The Running Man.
Yeah, like the running wheel game was just like a silly bit or whatever. And, like... The RoboCop films have fun fake ads for SPF 5000 because the ozone is depleted and stuff like that, which works within the universe. And in this one, it's like, you get Puma. That's a mild pass, a little obtrusive, kind of makes sense. Monster Energy Drink is in here.
Yeah. That
was a little bit obtrusive, but at least it only took 2 to 3 seconds. But yeah, Liquid Death was a full TV-produced TV spot that went on for like 30 seconds.
It's crazy that was the best place they thought to put Monster Energy Drink in a movie about having to like run for your life.
Yeah.
Just a quiet conversation with Michael Cera instead of him being like, I haven't slept for 4 days because they're hunting me. I need a Monster Energy Drink right now.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that the energy?
Why wasn't that the energy?
That's how I would promote Monster Energy.
Oh, they blew it. Huh.
Here's the other thing that they absolutely blew. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about for me.
Okay.
Because
I only have one more point as well. I wonder if it's the same one.
Is it the big one?
I think so.
I mean...
When we turned to each other in the movie theater and both checked our watches to be like, is a new movie starting?
Okay, we're on the same page here about what the fuck happened at an hour 45 into this movie.
Ooh.
Should I?
You take the lead. You were setting it up. You take the lead.
So Glenn Powell in this movie has met all these characters or whatever, and it's a 2 hours and 20-minute movie. At one point, he's running away, and it's the classic like highway chase. He like has a car pull over, and there's a girl driving the car, Amelia, and he's like, I'm taking you hostage. You have to drive me so we don't get killed. And they start to develop a rapport. And he's like, you're on the running man now. We're in this together. And that is a pretty classic thing that happens in movies like this and absolutely works. It doesn't work at an hour 45 into your movie, Amelia became a main character. It was insane. This girl who just showed, she was just driving down the highway. We never met her before. No idea who she is. And she absolutely became a main character. And it felt like a new movie was starting. That was exactly how you described it. That is exactly what it felt like.
It is so funny that they did the exact opposite timing of the problem with the 80s Running Man that we mentioned 2 weeks ago on the podcast, where 2 weeks ago it's the beginning of a dystopian future pro-union movie where it's like Arnold and these two other buddies are in it together. And then at the end of Act 1, it's like, I don't know, get rid of the other dudes, and there's a lady here. This is the movie. And I'm like, okay, you abandoned 20 minutes in to switch to a different movie. And you abandoned, 20% in to switch to a different movie. This waits till 20% left to switch to that movie. I'm like, both are awkward pacing. You just did the opposite timing of it. Very strange.
It was wildly strange. But it was actually like kind of well written in a way that I'm like, was this supposed to happen way sooner? Was this supposed to be the movie?
Maybe. I think it was well written in the sense that it could have been well written. It felt like a really rushed character arc where she's just like, I have money and I work hard for it. And he's like, do you deserve a scarf more than my baby deserves food? And she's just like, I've never had a thought before. And now I'm your friend and I'm on board. And it's like, this all happened way too quick because it's way too late in the movie. It's an arc that makes sense.
I liked a lot of it. I liked when she wanted to be a good person to prove to herself. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
There was cool ideas there. If that had been more of the movie.
Yes. Yeah. But it wasn't. It was just
45 in.
I was ready to flip when we both looked at each other dead in the eyes
and we both
checked our watch and then looked back at each other and went, "What the fuck? It's too late for this bullshit to be starting."
He looks straight down the barrel of the camera and says, "Amelia, you're on the Running Man now." And I'm like, so she's got a full name. Yeah. She's going to be a main character from this point on.
He says, "Welcome to the Running Man." Like the title card's about to come up. Like he literally calls it as if it's the beginning of a movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was wildly crazy. Weird.
Yeah, very strange stuff. Yep, so that was also my last.
All right, that was my last.
That was my last. What the fuck? Well, let's go in for the close. Dear God, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this if you could change anything? Before we do ask the final question, we will remind you, our listeners, as we do every week, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, YouTube, or wherever it is that you get, listen, or watch these podcasts. It helps us move up the charts. It helps us find new listeners. And also it just feels really good to ourselves when we read those, and it's just quite a nice thing. I do read all the Spotify comments and YouTube comments as well. Very kind, all of you, much appreciated. And that's a free way to support the show.
Yeah, I also read them, and sometimes, because the notification goes away if one of us reads them, we'll tell each other, did you read that nice comment on YouTube?
Really nice ones get told between us.
They get spoken aloud in the home.
Yeah, and words have power. So you got to keep that in mind.
It's like a spell.
It is like a spell. So leave a real good one. And as well, if you do want to support the podcast monetarily, you can do that over on our Patreon page. Patreon is where you can support the show by subscribing at whatever is in your budget. You can do as little as $1 a month if you just want to support the show. And then we'll give you our webcomic early. But a lot of the times, people who sign up at $1, it's just you being like, hey, good job. Thanks for the show. And we appreciate that because creative things like this don't exist in this world without patrons and direct artist support, especially in the day and age that we live in. But you can also do more if it's in your budget. At $3, you can get these episodes early and ad-free, so you don't have to listen to those ads. At a $10 level, you can get access to our monthly Patreon exclusive episode, plus immediate access to the full back catalog. This month, we did the recent Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. That'll be available right now. If you sign up at $10, you'll get that and the whole back catalog, or you can buy just that episode for just $5.
There's so many options at patreon.com/FromSuperheroes.
You can also sign up for free, and we release some free stuff as well that you can check out.
Yeah, we put some free stuff out there every now and then.
So head on over, check it out, depending on what's in your budget. You can do monthly, you can do yearly, and then you get a month free. You can cancel or change it next month if you flip your mind or your budget changes. Live your life. Take care of yourself. That's important. And support us if you can. Head over to patreon.com/FromSuperheroes. That is patreon.com/FromSuperheroes. And now, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question. Now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, Diana, what would you change about this if you could change anything?
Oh boy. I'd probably just watch Arnold's version again if it was me. From a overall arc, I do think the idea of this obviously was to be more true to the book version than the Arnold version, which took huge liberties. So I think if you want to stay closer to the book version, I'll keep it at a 30-day hunt. But my biggest change that I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 5 runners instead of 3. There's as many runners as there are hunters. There's 5 and 5. And the runners can all stay together if they want, and they're going to. So it's 5 runners. They all stay together. Glenn Powell will become their leader, and he will have strategies, and he will, the reluctant leader. And basically, we're still going to lose a couple of them, but people are only going to die when they don't work together. And that's going to be the theme of how the people have the power. When we work together, we can take over, we can overrun things. And that's what leads to the people watching being like, yeah, Ben Richards is the leader. He's going to lead all of us. He's leading these people to victory. They're all getting away and they're all working together. And what if we all work together? We could have medicine that's affordable. Things like that. So if there's a lot we could change in this movie. Obviously, like the editing, the pacing, the casting. We could change pretty much everything. We could make the hunters more bombastic. That would also be very fun. But just in terms of let's make it cleaner. Let's have a through line. Let's have a theme. 5 runners, 5 hunters. Every runner that dies is because they didn't work as a team and as a unit. And they wanted to be individuals instead of part of the collective. And that's what gets you killed on The Running Man. That's what gets you killed in real life. If you're not part of a union, as to say. You're stronger together. He's a union man.
He's a union man.
He's a union man. So that's going to be my biggest change, that they're going to become friends. They're going to have bonds. They're going to work together. There's going to be strategies. We'll lose a couple and it'll be sad, but it'll be a better theme. It'll be a cleaner movie. That's my change. Andrew, what would you change in The Running Man 2025?
I like it. I'm going to go adjacent to you, close, but not quite the same.
You're your own man.
It is a buddy action movie with Glenn Powell and Katie O'Brien.
Well, that would be fun. Yeah.
That's it. I don't know if I need 5. I
need to be able to lose people.
I'm still fine with starting with 3 and losing the dweeb. But I think that this should be Katie and Glenn in the whole goddamn movie because they've worked together before. I think that we see her shine through in any time that she is around. I kind of think we see her loosen up and improvise a little bit around Glenn, but they're not around each other a lot. But if they filmed a full movie together, I think it ups his chemistry, it ups her, it ups everything, it ups the journey. And then also, I think that because he is he is an unlikable protagonist, he becomes more likable if he has someone around who calls him out on his bullshit. If it's him be like, I had to do it to protect, even on the stuff that offended me, if Katie O'Brien's character could just be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with I had sex with someone for money earlier today. It's cool. They paid their rent and fed their kids. I had sex. Everything's popping off. Someone to kind of bounce off of his problem aspects and be around for the whole movie. I think it would really up the energy. It would make him less of a problem. And it would just cause a lot more likability throughout this movie as well.
I like that a lot. I think that would be really fun. I also really like the dynamic. We don't get it enough of straight man and lesbian because there's no romance. So we can just his wife's at home and she's banging ladies.
Yeah.
And that's great for her. I like when there's not a romance between a man and a woman who are the leads.
Yeah. Just feel we're working together.
We're acquaintances. We're colleagues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight men and lesbians running trade unions. It's how the world works and it's how this film should work.
Oh my God, that's the revolution, baby.
That's the fucking revolution right there. And that's the one I'm signing up to see, goddammit.
We would have paid for. We already paid for this, but we'd pay for that.
Give me the movie I want, you cowards. This is it.
I think that's fun. I think that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think I can get behind that change. All right, so you have 3 and I have 5 people.
Yeah.
It's basically our change.
I think that's it. And if you can get on board with me pushing Katie O'Brien to be that's the one.
Oh, well, yeah, she'd be the survivor with him, but I still think there could be 5, so you could just have more action scenes where you lose people.
Okay. Well, then.
Raises the stakes to me.
Sweet. Well, I think we did it.
I think we did it.
That is going to be it for this week for 2025's The Running Man. I know that we were a bit negative this week. We were a little bit PU. But there was some stuff we liked this month. I hope you enjoyed Predator last week. Remember that there is some stuff that we enjoy and are kind to.
I love the original Running Man.
We liked the original Running Man. We talked about Predator this month. The Long Walk we were pretty kind towards, which I really say to remind you that we do feel joy. And that after this week, next week, we will be talking about season 5, episodes 1 to 4 of Stranger Things.
Are we already? Oh.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm so excited.
It's because of that I want to remind you that, hey, we do like stuff.
We want to like everything.
Boy, do we.
We have to watch these things. We always hope they're great.
We always want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, Stranger Things. I just don't have a lot of faith. I'm rooting for you.
But we will do our jobs. So we will be back next week. We'll talk to you then. In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find me online most places at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me at Words of Diana.
And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes, or visit FromSuperheroes.com to check out everything we create. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.